everybody, welcome back. So this is it. I officially hit 10,000 miles with this video here since I believe it was July 31st. No, actually it was September 18th because I got the Jeep. All right, so I'm currently sitting at 10,037 miles to be exact, and this thing is loud. I'm going 20 miles an hour on this little dirt road here, a little bit of mud, picking up some mud and whatnot, but you can definitely hear everything. And I'm about to pull up to a location here as soon as I could find a spot to give you guys a little update on what I think of the Jeep 4xe so far, and also my plans for the Jeep. All right, you're probably going to be surprised as to what I planned for this. It's nothing too big, so I'll leave you guys with that. But let me just go ahead and find a spot. I was going to go to this other spot that I went to last time when I first got the Jeep, but there's a shit ton of these beehives here that you can see there, where I guess the farmers out here hired beekeepers so they can start pollinating the trees, the plants, and all this awesome, cool nature / spring stuff. But yeah, let me go find a spot real quick, guys, and let's get to talking. Well guys, here we are. It's hard to believe this is only a 20-minute drive from where I live. You know, it's not much, it's not the wilderness that you see everywhere on YouTube right now, but this is still enough to take you away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and working, and it's peaceful. As you guys saw, some nice scenery out here. I'm a big fan of animals, you know, so it's always nice to see cattle along the side grazing, enjoying the sunlight, and drinking water out of the streams. Do get occasional traffic throughout here, but it's all right. It's peaceful enough for me for right now. And just to give you guys an update on the Jeep, how it's doing, and my future plans for it. So here we are, guys, 10,000 miles into ownership of the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. And I mean, in all honesty, this vehicle, it's not exceeding my expectations, or it's not below my expectations, right? It's exactly what I thought it would be. I knew the moment I got into a Jeep Wrangler, I'd be dealing with road noise, poor fuel economy. Even though it's a 4xe, when you're only using the 4-cylinder engine, you know, you are gonna feel it. I averaged about 13 to 14 miles to the gallon going from here to Arizona and back. You know, so that's about about 1,200 mile round trip or so. And man, I wasn't expecting to be that bad. You know, there's some V8 trucks out there that get a little bit better. I know my Trailbot Silverado, that one definitely got me better than 14, 15 miles to the gallon. The ZR2 Colorado definitely got me better MPGs, but it's because that was a diesel. Okay, and I mean, I've come quite a way with where I was at when the channel first started to when I had the Silverado Trail Boss. You know, that was my gateway vehicle into off-roading. And I wanted a little bit more in terms of capability. That's what made me go towards the ZR2. The ZR2 Colorado was an amazing vehicle. Man, I wish I still had it right now. I really don't know why I got rid of it. I thought it made sense at the time to go full EV and just get a nice toy later on, but that was a mistake. You know, that truck is definitely my favorite off-road rig that I've had so far. Diesel MPGs are awesome with that. Instant torque for slow rock crawling type terrain. So, man, I miss it. If you guys ever see it out there in the wild, man, tag me, message me. I want to see where it's at. I want to see who owns it. Okay? And then coming back to this Wrangler Rubicon back here, it's a nice vehicle. and it's treated me well so far. 10,000 miles into it. Okay, I was having some issues, or I thought I was. It's maybe just user error, or I didn't know how to properly use the hybrid system in this vehicle. You know, I'd always drive it in EV only mode just to drain my battery range, right? It gets me about 21 to 22 miles of range only on electric, or electric only range. And once you get down to about 1% or so, or 0%, that's when hybrid mode automatically kicks on by the system and the gas engine turns on. What I was facing at one point, and sometimes I still do, I haven't really quite figured out why, is when you're in hybrid mode at less than 1% on the battery, you're stopped at an intersection and it's your turn to go. It's very hesitant, so you're going to accelerate and you're not going to feel any power go through at all. And once you, I guess, accelerate it at an angle that's aggressive enough, the engine turns on abruptly and it violently just jolts you forward. You know, so I don't know if just my Jeep, or maybe some other 4xe owners are experiencing the same thing. Might be doing something wrong. I don't know, guys. Should I take it into the shop for service, or should I have a different setting because it's in hybrid mode, right? And then when you're in EV only mode, sometimes it'll slowly creep out of the intersection and you're giving it beans, right? And it's still not moving fast enough. Or even on the highway too, you know, if you're like at 4 or 5% for some reason, you're trying to maintain speed, you'll notice that it'll gradually decrease in speed even though you keep gradually increasing the throttle pedal, you know. So it's just some weird thing going on, I don't know. But again, it only happens every now and then. Okay, so that's one thing that I'm not too happy with. I did take it off-road a few times, and I must say, guys, this Jeep did impress me. Okay, it's like a cheat code, to say the least. You know, what took so much money on the previous rig to get it to where I wanted it to perform at, this thing just turnkey right out the box, or right out of the dealership. All right, so I'm pretty impressed by that. In terms of plans for this Jeep, guys, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything too extreme. Tires, I'll probably go up to a 35-inch tire. And with the weight of these vehicles, they have a higher spring rate. So I've been researching these 4xe Rubicons. They'll fit a 35 just fine. And wheels, I don't know. These wheels haven't given me any issues yet. With the previous rig, I never really had the need to air down past, say, 15 psi. And I'm pretty sure with these wheels I'll do just fine. I won't pop a bead or anything. Okay, to get a roof rack on this, I've been debating it, guys. I use this to commute, you know, and it would be nice to have a roof rack, just to have a rooftop tent on it. I would like a very small rooftop tent if I went that route. Maybe something like Inspired Overland. They have I think it's the lightest weight rooftop tent out in the market. But I want something extremely low profile if I do go that route. But about 80% of me is leaning more towards no rooftop tent, but do get a roof rack in case I occasionally go off-road or camping or whatever. You know, I could throw a few items up there so they don't take up precious cargo room inside, and I could still take my family and travel comfortably. And that's pretty much most of what I'm trying to do with this rig. You know, it's just I'm not going to go over the top. A front locker is nice with this, and I had that with the ZR2. I just never had a real need for it. You know, I thought I would have to use it at one point, but the only times I ever used it was just to get out of my system and for shits and gigs, to say the least. You know, so I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour of the Jeep, where it sits right now, and maybe that'll spark some more of talking points on this to see what I'm possibly planning on doing. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it now. All right, so taking you to the front of the Jeep, you could see everything is pretty much stock form. All right, I added these nice little eBay lights, and that's mainly for if I'm ever stuck in the snow or in low visibility areas, I could just turn these ambers on and it'll help me see a lot better. All right, I added this little bull bar too, cheap little eBay one too. Actually not eBay, it was Amazon, and I needed that to mount this. I like this modular bumper from Mopar. Okay, it's not the plastic one that comes with a lot of Jeeps out there. The reason I like it is because of that, the modularity. I still plan on adding a winch to this. I don't know which routes I'm going to go. If I want to go the expensive worn route, or maybe get a Badlands Harbor Freight one. I've seen a lot of good stuff out of those Harbor Freight ones, and this is super easy to get a winch in here. You just take this top plate off, put your winch plate inside, and you get your fairlead in behind the license plate frame. And if I do decide to go to 37s one day, which more than likely I won't, but in case I do, the sides of this come off right away. All right, so that's going to give me more clearance for the front bumper so my tires don't rub. All right, but in terms of everything else that's here, it's going to maintain its stock form from here going on out. All right, as far as tires go, I can't complain about these all-terrains. They're the BF Goodrich, and they're the TA KO2s that come factory with these. I believe these are 33s, and I have the factory Rubicon wheels on this. I don't plan on getting anything too aggressive. I'll stick to all-terrain only because this is my main commuter right now until I get like a little beater out there to take me to and from work. But right now, all-terrain is the way to go. I'll continue getting all-terrains from here on out. Mud terrains, I really did enjoy them, but the road noise is just too much for me, and your MPGs do suffer some once you go more aggressive tire because of the increased rolling resistance. All right, the wheels, I like these wheels. I might just rattle can the silver portions or the machined portions right here to make it look black. You know, just be a little bit different. I really do like the Jeep Willys wheels. Those are amazing. You know, so if I can make these look like the Willys ones, I'd be happy with that. In the future, you know, once the pocket allows it, I'll probably go with some nice method wheels again, but that's going to be more of a luxury than a necessity. Okay, so we'll tackle that when that time comes. And I might level this. I'm still debating it. You know, I might just do like a 2-inch level or a 3-inch lift. It will look nice with a nice set of 35s. That will definitely allow me to throw some 37s in here without having to mess with the geometry too much. All right, so maybe in the future, guys. I'll see how long I keep this vehicle for, because my track record right now is not the best with vehicle ownership. I wouldn't be an off-roader without the ditch lights, right guys? These are from Oxbeam. I'm pretty happy with how they look. In the past, I had the rough country ones on the ZR2, so there's the first real Oxbeam product I have. And I have this paired with an Oxbeam 6-gang panel switch. I'll show you guys out in a bit. But you're probably thinking, hey Victor, don't you already have amber lights in the front? I do, but these are just covers, all right? If I could do anything to protect the clear lens from the valley sun out here, I'd rather these covers get damaged and replace them later than getting the faded, oxidized style little lens damage that the sun is known for. Okay, so these are the Oxbeam pod lights, ditch lights, and some cheap Amazon mounts right there, about $30 online. All right, these are about 150 or so. Not sponsored, by the way. All right, so let's move on to the next portion of the Jeep. Here I do have my roto packs, and it's mounted onto my spare tire using this strap, ratchet strap, and a metal, I guess, adapter or whatever, where you could mount stuff onto it using that strap. This is called, man, I really don't know what it's called, guys, but it's by Rockslide Engineering. They make some awesome stuff for this Jeep, and you could also mount another one out here on the side, or my plan is to put my propane tank back there once I decide to finally go off-roading with this again. This Rotopax is a real Rotopax. It's not a knockoff, but it's a blemish Rotopax. If you know, you know. And this lock right here is the Amazon one, about 27, 28 bucks. It's Mookie Auto, or whatever it is. All right, on to the inside and the back side here. I got this little table from Amazon as well. You know, it's pretty inexpensive compared to what's out there. I paid about 150, 170 for this, and it's got the nice latch right here and super easy to install. Oh, you got the locks here. I always forget about that. This comes down nice, and it's not the cable type. It has an actual slide right here, and you have the bump stops there so it doesn't rattle inside your vehicle. What I like about this one, it's got a nice little slide out cutting board or extension. Will I use it as a cutting board? Who knows? I don't know if I want weird smells, you know, traveling with me inside, so I'll probably just line it with something, some wax paper or something, then cut and then take that paper off. Or maybe I'll treat it so it's nice and slick so it's easy to wipe down so it doesn't absorb any liquids. All right, but this is nice and sturdy. Install was super easy, as I mentioned. You know, the video is posted on my channel if you guys want to see how I did it. Solid. Look at that. You really have to hit it hard to make it rattle. You know, the inside, nothing special. I only have a fire extinguisher mounted up there, because you always need a fire extinguisher. I have my official tool roll. There's my 4-way tire inflator or deflator, but I use it mainly to inflate the tires. Again, I made that one myself. There's a video on my channel if you guys want to see how to make one. It's super easy to make, cheaper than if you bought your own online. And I have the all-top compressor that hooks up to that. That is a dual pump compressor as well. And by the way, guys, all-top products, there we go. All right, now taking you guys to the inside here, the cockpit. There is that infamous aux beam 6-gang switch panel I was talking about. All right, so on that one, I only have 3 things tied to it right now. I have my my GMRS radio, the ditch lights, and the fog lights in the front, and I have 3 more slots. All right, so the reason I only got a 6-gang, not an 8-gang or all this other crazy stuff, is because I don't want to go over the top with this Jeep. I want it to be as simple and minimalistic as possible, because I plan on doing more minimalistic style trips in the future. And if I needed to, I could always just sacrifice a little cargo area for the longer trips. All right, so I do have a plan for one more of those buttons there, and it's going to be a WeBoost cell phone booster. All right, and the other 2, I still haven't figured it out yet, but again, I don't want to go over the top, so 6 items or accessories max with this Jeep. And this is where I mounted my Midland radio. It's a GMRS radio that I got a while back. That was hooked up to my ZR2 at one point, so I took it off, and I have it fixed right up here. You know, you have these from Bullet Point Mounting Solutions. Those are awesome, and it's a nice little position for the radio there. It does get in the way of the screen a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about my screen. I really wish these 24s had the old school screen. I get it, Jeep was trying to do something different and make it more modern, but man, it takes away from the ruggedness. And there's my little magnetic phone mount right there with the GoPro mount, and I have another mount out here for another GoPro in case I need to do some indoor recording. And this is where I mounted my Ghost antenna from Midland as well. You know, this has treated me pretty good. I've turned it on a few times, tested it, and it works just like it did last time. Amazing. I might upgrade to the taller, longer range antenna. It's about yay tall. You can see my hand, there you go. Yay tall. All right, so I might get that one later on in the future. Last time we were out in Death Valley, I did lose some range after our group split. I was actually out there with, I believe it was the second Overlanding for Warriors event, and we went out on a little tour that Michael from Fly Fisher 530 took us on, and we kind of split up. And that's when I thought, man, I should have got a longer range GMRS antenna. I really hope you guys can hear me right now. I am in electric mode, and on my way home. I just want to get you guys a little glimpse of how this vehicle sounds. Let me roll the windows down too. It's going to be a little bit, how can I put it? It's going to be windy. All right, but the electric, silent. There we go. Once it gets a little too windy, I will put the windows back up. Oh, I'm flinging mud everywhere, guys. Hold on. All right, so if you hear all that flinging around right now, it's just the mud. Okay, it's just anytime you go through mud, no matter what vehicle, you're gonna really hear it. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it a few more seconds before it's completely knocked off. All right, but man, this thing drives nice when you're in full electric mode. It drives just like any other EV will. I have it in max regen right now, so anytime you let off the accelerator, you're gonna feel a drag on the vehicle. You know, it's like it's regenerative braking, if you may. All right, it's gonna help charge the battery a little bit faster while you're in motion. When this vehicle was at 0%, if I were to put it in max regen mode and e-save mode, which is engine only, it takes approximately an hour to an hour and a half to charge at highway speeds. But if you're driving, say, these backcountry roads or city roads, stop and go traffic, nothing past, say, 35 miles an hour, it takes about maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes per 1%. All right, so it's going to be a little bit faster than at highway speeds. On that trip I took to Arizona, I tested it, And it's strange how you'd expect that when you're traveling faster, it'll charge faster, but it's the other way around. I don't know the science behind that or the reasoning, but yeah, you're definitely going to charge a lot faster when you're going lower speeds. Okay, and another thing, it will only charge up to 95% when you're in regen mode and e-save mode. I don't know why that is, but I found that out every time I've charged up to 100%, right? So I'll charge from any percentage I'm at up to 95%, but when you plug it into the wall, right, the actual charger itself, that's when you're going to get the 100% charge. And sorry if I'm cutting my speech a little here, guys. I have to focus a little on driving because there are curves around here, but yeah, 95% is the max charge capacity when you're in e-save mode and max regen. And another thing too, if you just unplug your Jeep and you're at full battery or 98% or anything above 95%, you will also not be able to switch from anything other than EV mode. Once it reaches that 95% threshold or below, you'll be able to switch to hybrid mode or e-save mode. And this thing is pretty comfortable inside. I don't mind the leather seats. You know, just my thing with leather seats is they tear at some point and they look nasty and they're expensive to repair, to replace. You know, so I could have done with cloth seats and get some nice covers for them, but I guess I could get covers for the leather seats that the Jeep has as well. You know, you'll see my average MPGs right there. Don't let that fool you though. That is me going full electric to and from work, and my job is say 30 miles away, and my electric range is, out of those 30 miles, 21 miles. So that average there is just based off of my commute to and from work. It's not a real life scenario driving on highways in the engine only mode. Okay, engine only, I already told you guys, it's about, man, 13, 14 MPGs, which is crazy. I wasn't expecting that. The ride quality is exactly what I expect from a Jeep. It's not the best, okay, but for a brand new Jeep, it's exactly what I expect as well, and it's actually quite comfortable. I know over time stuff is going to start to get loose, and I need to get used to saying, hey, it's a Jeep thing. I'm not there yet. You know, but for the most part, you guys could hear that everything is extremely sound. I did go through some bumpy sections back there, and that little table, liftgate table I have in the back, it doesn't rattle, even right now. You know, normally you hear like little pieces of metal rattling. You don't hear any of that, so that's a pretty cool, good quality table I got back there. So all in all, I am pretty pleased with this this Jeep. Okay, and in its stock form, like I said, it's more than capable. It does exactly what my ZR2 did. My ZR2, of course, had a better crawl power than this, but for turnkey results, you can't go wrong with the 4xe, especially if you're commuting with it. It's a nice way to have a little of both worlds, right? A commuter and a nice weekend toy when you want it, when you need it. Take the family out. But as I start to do more projects or mods to this, you know, like I said, it is going to be at a minimal. I'll make sure to keep you guys posted, and I truly do appreciate you guys that are tuning in. Okay, I know I don't post that much, and it's hard. Like, trust me, guys, it's hard. But right now, the way prices of everything are or is, it's like shit, I have to live at work. No other option. Luckily, I have fun at work. And if you guys are ever looking into taking care of yourselves, and by yourselves I mean your vehicles, don't forget to check out victorsynthetics.com. That is where you guys can get some Amsoil for your vehicles, and there's also CLP there for your firearms, for you guys that are big into 2A. All right, victorsynthetics.com, and don't forget to check out the links below too. Show your brother some love. All right, see you guys next time.